Hello, everybody. It is Zer, week number 10, and he's in that same old hut as usual. I don't know why they don't stick him somewhere else. You know, can they stick him one place else on this planet? Sorry, it's not a planet, I know, but yeah, he's in here. It's actually a pretty good week for Zer. And we're gonna start with the weapon of the week, which is Hardlight. Hardlight is a Destiny 1 exotic that has made big strides in actually being a good Destiny 2 weapon without actually having anything about it changed whatsoever. Auto rifles are very strong right now, and Hardlight's selling point is its lack of damage falloff. It has two other perks attached, like ricochet rounds and overpenetration, along with the ability to switch the elemental property on the weapon at any time. Unfortunately, it does not function like Borealis, so you do actually have to go into the menu and switch the element manually, which is a little bit of a bummer. Hardlight is a solid gun. The thing that holds it back is some of the screen shake elements to the recoil on the gun. It's still a little unwieldy compared to other auto rifles in general. It is definitely a usable weapon. Auto rifles are great, and if it got an adjustment to its screen shake effect, it might end up being one of the best weapons in the game one day, in my opinion, assuming that auto rifles are still at the top of the dog pile. The no damage fall off, in my opinion, need to stop saying that, matters a little bit more on the PC side of things, where you can actually hit super far away stuff much easier than on console. Hunters, you're getting Lucky Raspberry, where arc bolts chain farther and have a chance to refresh their cooldown when it hits a target. I used a You know what I'm trying to say. This chest armor is pretty darn good, in my opinion. Pretty darn good, but it's overshadowed by two things. One, Raiden Flux is god tier in PvE, especially in super endgame stuff. And two, Arc Strider in PvP right now is kind of eh. I do think it is a more reliable exotic in PvP compared to Raiden Flux. Arc bolts are still pretty strong in PvP, and even getting one refresh in something like Trials could be round ending if you're fast enough to throw it. It is very, very good. In PvE, Raiden's power is just so great, so large, but considering Arc Striders don't get pulse grenades, Arc Bolt is probably the next best thing, and enhancing it more is not a terrible idea. If Arc Strider sees any PvP related buffs, mainly with regards to its super, I think you're going to start seeing this thing everywhere in PvP. Titans, you are getting Syntheseps, where you have increased melee lunge range and improved melee damage when surrounded. The lunge range is the main attraction here, and it does indeed increase that range, surprising me at times at how much lunge I actually get. For PvE, these are going to be a super hard pass, but for PvP, a pretty solid pick for something like Trials, where things get a little more intimate and there's more melee fights going on. At least in my experience, it feels like more melee fights are going on. They can allow you to get punches in at distances where the enemy might be whiffing their melee attacks, which is always good for you. It was my PvP exotic of choice for a while, still mostly is, plus they have recovery too. Warlocks, you are getting the Karnstein armlets, first time being sold, where melee attacks give a little bit of cooldown reduction for all abilities and give you a little chunk of health. The easier the activity, the nicer these gloves are going to be. The more you melee stuff, the biggest benefit you're going to see from these gloves, plain and simple. That sentence was a little awkward. The more you melee things, the bigger the benefit you are going to see from these gloves. That's what I was trying to say. Meleeing stuff is more risky in harder content, takes more hits to kill things, and you generally take more damage. You don't really want to be in melee range of too much stuff in prestige level activities, because that tiny little chunk of health that you're going to get from meleeing something is not really going to save you too often. The energy boost is really nice because you don't even need to kill things. You just need to hit things, meaning if just a few hits is going to provide a good chunk of ability energy for you. It does require a more aggressive playstyle to make work though, but if you can make it work, you're going to be pretty set. For PvP, it's pretty much the same thing. The less you melee, the less value you're going to get out of these arms, and these arms really get a lot of value when you play very aggressively. That is going to do it for Xur week number 10. Only a few more of these until I get to do this at a normal human being hour. I'm very excited for that. Otherwise, I don't have much for you guys right now on the news side of things. So we're just going to end the video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great weekend, and I will see you all next time.